Hello and good day to you, my beautiful friends. I do hope you are well. Welcome to episode 66 of Cross Button VR, our journey into the world of PSVR2. I'm your host, Laurie, and it is an honour to be joined by one of the most cat-loving influencers in the metaverse. It's Reese. Hello.
Meow.
Meow. Meow. You have to do it in Sushi Ben style.
Meow. Well, the monotone version.
Meow. Well, we'll get to that. Spoilers.
Yes, we will.
You do love a cat, though, don't you?
I do. I've got 5 of the little furry ones.
Oh my god. Well, anyway, we have no time to talk about cats.
No,
Reese, we've got a big week on our hands. We are recording this in the UK on Wednesday night, which is the day before they've just announced a big State of Play show for being broadcast on Thursday. So what we're going to do, we're going to record this episode, and then we're going to record our thoughts about whatever there's talked about on the State of Play later, and we'll tag that on to the end of the episode. So right now, we're in the exciting position, Reese. We don't know what's going to happen. So I thought it'd be quite fun that we could do a predictions episode and to see if we're right in the same episode. No longer will our audiences have to wait. And when we do these predictions now, they will already know the outcome because this episode comes out after. They would have watched it. Yeah, it comes out after the State of Play. So straight away, people will know if we're complete fucking idiots or not, which obviously we are. So what do you reckon?
We're too optimistic. That's probably what they'll think. We've just got too much optimism for what's coming.
So what do you reckon we saw a few days ago?
Behemoth?
Yeah.
I think that's definitely going to be on there. I'd be surprised if not, because they've been hyping it up. So that's probably the one that I'm saying I'm hoping to see more on. Obviously, I think Astrobot's a given. I think the leaks seem a bit too good to be true in that sense. I'm just still hoping for a VR component of it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you're hoping to see other than them two?
I don't know, to be honest. I'm hoping to see loads of things.
Yes, I want to see all VR stuff, really.
Yeah, I think you're right, though. I think in terms of my prediction, I think we'll get a big look at Behemoth, and that'll be like a proper reveal of that. And then I think it'll be an Astrobot something. Probably just a port of Rescue Mission, or maybe that the new Astrobot game will be a hybrid game on both.
Yeah, just see what they're doing.
I think there'll be just those two things for PSVR2. I honestly think that'll probably be it. Maybe there could be some other sort of DLC expansion or some VR mode for something like, not Spider-Man, but something in their main IP that's got a VR component to it. Maybe,
I really hope they do a Spider-Man VR. Really. They did a promo one for one of the Spider-Man movies before on the PSVR 1, and it was a lot of fun. It was just a tech demo, but it played really well, and I'm hoping they do something like that in the future.
But I think if the end of this year, PSVR 2 has Wanderer Fragments of Freight, Metro Awakening, Behemoth, assuming Behemoth is this big kind of epic game that we're expecting to be, and an Astrobot game. I think that's a pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good lineup. I think that's
everything else that comes in between as well. Let's be honest. Like there's every week there's a new game popping up on the store.
Yeah, there'll be loads of other stuff as well. But in terms of like 4 big kind of if not AAA, then the tentpole releases as tentpole as you're going to get in VR.
I think so.
And maybe we might probably not in this, but maybe we'll hear about maybe UB Forward at the Ubisoft C3 conference around then. We might see Nexus ported over.
You're still hoping for Nexus, aren't you?
I am.
You are.
I'm almost breaking on getting the Quest, but I'm getting the Quest, and then they'll release the better version of it on.
Yeah,
I
hope it comes to PSVR 2 only because I noticed some little frame drops on the Quest version, and they're quite prominent. So I am hoping it does come over.
So I think in terms of predictions, let's move on because it's going to be really boring for people to listen to because they've already heard, they already know what it is.
They've heard it and they're going to see it in a second. So
let's find out if we're right. Okay, but the other big stuff that's been happening this week, it's been a big week for PSVR 2. It's been great to see, actually. Sony have remembered that it's a thing. There's the Days of Play big event. They do this every year, big Days of Play thing. It's a whole couple of weeks, always the same time of the year where you get PS Plus discounts, competitions they run. They do like their PS Stars promotions. There's always some big sales or some big discounts on hardware and stuff. And this year's no exception. There's a discount, I think, it's $100 on the console itself. I'm not sure, but
something like that.
Key thing is $100 or £90 off of a PSVR 2 headset, which brings it down to £439 or £479 if you want the Horizon bundle, which people should buy because £40 is a great price
worth
for
it
that
for
game.
a little extra.
Yeah, and not only that, Reese, it's £439. It also comes with a year of Netflix Premium, which is a bit of a random. So it's just usually you kind of expect these things to be like you always get Netflix and stuff for free, but actually it's a whole year of Netflix Premium. That's actually a really good thing because a lot of people have Netflix Premium. It's £18 a month now. So
it's shot up.
That costs over £216 a year. So if someone's already subscribing to Netflix Premium and they've been on the fence about getting a PSVR2 headset, they can basically take off the cost of what they're already paying for Netflix Premium, which is £216, another £90 off. So they're basically getting £300 off of the thing, bringing it down to about £220, and that's insane.
It's a really good deal.
It's a freaking insane deal.
It's a really good deal.
£220 for that.
I like the way you put your post up on Twitter, summarise it just how you did there, because literally I didn't look at it like that the way you did. Like I just thought, Netflix Premium, Netflix thrown on, that's a nice thing, whereas you if you look at it like this, you go right into it. But no, I think it's really good. I definitely think it's a good time for people to jump in. They've been thinking about it or on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just said, there's plenty of games coming, and whether it's Quest ports or new stuff coming that's not been on any other system, there's a lot to play.
I mean, the price has been a big issue for people. There's no doubt about that.
And so I can understand that.
Bring it down from, I mean, even if you're doing the Netflix thing, to bring it down from £500 to £400, that's a much better price in the first place. But I say, if you throw in a year of Netflix, I'd say not most people, but maybe most people that own a PS5 probably do subscribe to Netflix in some form. So even if you're just on the cheaper £10 a month, that still saves you £120 a month or whatever it is. So yeah, it still brings.
I think another good way to look at it as well, though, is obviously because now it's dropped down to 470 something odd quid. That's a similar price to a Quest. So if you already do have the PlayStation 5, you now have that better point of going, oh, which one do I get? They're both a similar price, so you've got that nice decision to make there, as opposed to just going, I'm going to go for the Quest because it's a cheaper headset in price. So it is a good time.
And not only that, you're now getting the added value because Sony they've clearly listened to this pod and they've been listening to what we've been.
I thought the exact same thing. They've been listening to us.
No, I mean, it was pretty much a no-brainer.
Yeah.
But they finally added PSVR2 games to PS Plus, which is fantastic. Now, caveat, it is on the premium tier only, but that does kind of that is what I expected them to do, to be honest, because that premium tier is quite a bit more expensive and there's not really a lot of extra value in it to justify. I mean, there's the game trial demos, there's some retro games in there, which is great if you like those, but I think people want more contemporary releases in that subscription tier. So the fact that you're now getting this collection of VR games, I would suggest that if you're buying into a PSVR2 headset, you're probably quite engaged in the ecosystem already. You're probably a PS Plus subscriber. So this might nudge people up to that premium tier, which is also on sale as well. It's worth adding. And those games, Reese, do you know them off the top of your head? I've got them here.
I remember Saints and Sinners 1 and 2, Ghostbusters, Rise of the Ghost Lord, Synth Riders, Walkabout Mini Golf,
and oh, come on, it's right there. It's right before your eyes, Reese. What is it?
Oh, before your eyes. Yeah, there you go.
I see what I did there.
Yeah.
So you're essentially getting 6 games there if you count The Walking Dead as 2 games.
Yeah, count that as 2.
Okay,
definitely.
And that, I think, is a pretty decent mix of games. I think Ghostbusters, that's unsurprising because obviously it's Sony's. It's no surprise they're putting that in the subscription, but it is a multiplayer game. You want to have a community of people to play that with, so that makes sense to put that in the subscription. But I mean, Walkabout and Synth Riders, genuinely 2 of the best games on the headset.
Yeah,
they're phenomenal. Defy anyone to not love those games. You've got a bit more of an action shooty, like Walking Dead game, really recognised IP, everyone knows. Before Your Eyes, that's more of the kind of indie, artistic
story,
kind of narrative.
Yeah.
Very sort of personal experience, very short.
Moving.
So I think it's a great mix of content there. Some good party games, good social games, some proper, what you'd consider more traditional games of The Walking Dead there. So I think now, because before, to buy all those games, I certainly would have recommended people go out and buy Walkabout and Synth Riders.
And I would have recommended Walking Dead.
Yeah, so you've probably got, I don't know what it is, about £50 worth of games there you're now getting thrown in for free. So I think, I don't want to overdo it here, but I think overnight, just with all of this combined, the fact that you're getting a huge discount on the headset, and you're getting that collection of games from day one as well. I think there's going to be a lot of people who've previously been on the fence and will now be like, yeah, go on then. I'll buy into that. I've been waiting to use I've got these games now claimed on PS Plus that I can play. It's a couple £100, cheaper than a Lego DQT tree set. It's just been announced, so I really want, but I'm not going to get.
We had natural news as well, yeah.
No, that's not VR related, I'm afraid. And if Sony do put in the state of play a couple of first-party upcoming VR games to show there is that commitment there still. Again, I think that's what a lot of people have been waiting for. They've been waiting to see. I want that commitment from Sony. I want to show that there is that future development pipeline from them in the first parties. So yeah, I think potentially it's been could be a really big week for PlayStation. It could be give them a big shot in the arm. So yeah, let's hopefully see that has a big positive effect.
Definitely, it's exciting times.
Also part of the day to play, there was a massive sale on loads of stuff, including lots of PSVR2 games. So yeah, again, great time to buy into the system, pick up a handful of games for very cheap. Now, another thing that might give PSVR2 a little shot in the arm is we've been spotted was this a trademark or something for a PC adapter?
Certification, I believe it was, wasn't it? Something like that. Yeah.
You tell me, Reece, you tell me.
Yeah, it looked like a certification thing. So they've now certified a product, which is a PSVR2 adapter. So it looks like that's how you're going to actually connect the PSVR2 to your PC is with an adapter. A lot of people were thinking it'd be directly plugged into a USB-C port. I never thought that would be the case, just simply because I know there was a lot of work around with, is it VRIFY, who's trying to work on an adapter before, trying to get his PSVR2 working on the PC. So it did always look like an adapter, but yeah, they've now certified this and it's going to be coming. They haven't announced when it's coming. This is just, I believe it's another leak by the looks of it.
And these things presumably are pretty low cost. It's not going to be like a £50 adapter or anything. It's probably just going to be like a small thing, or is it going to have tech in it that's going to do something clever?
It might. I think it will have to have some form of tech in it, seeing as how much.
I sound like a right fucking idiot, isn't it?
Has it got tech in it?
What's got magic inside it, Reece?
It's got pixie dust. So
yeah.
I think there'll be some kind of tech in there, if that's the way you want to word it. Because obviously, like I said, with VRIFY, when he was doing his one, he had to go through a lot of prototypes, which certain boards weren't working. He had to keep reworking them. So I think there is going to be some sort of
God, kill me now
in there. So I think there will be a price tag on it. How much it'll be, I really don't know. I don't want it to be too expensive, but at the same point, it might be 50 to 100 quid. Who knows? But again, with PlayStation doing it, they can mass produce the thing. They know what they're doing straight out of the gate, and they also can do the firmware updates for the PSVR2 to make it so it's compatible with what they're going to use. So there is always that argument there with what they're doing. So it could be cheap. It could be. But time will tell.
We'll come back to that when we actually see what it is and it's properly announced. But potentially very good news for, I suppose, the more headsets they sell, whether that's on PC or on PlayStation 5, then the more incentive they've got to keep investing in VR.
Definitely. I think that's the case, and I think it's something that needs to be done. Obviously, there's a lot of PC VR games to try out. Whether you'd play them as much as you would the PSVR2 games is another question, because, again, going through Steam VR is like shoveling for a random... To find a good game on there is like finding a needle in a haystack sometimes. So,
well, there'll be Half-Life Alyx at least. So
well, Half-Life Alyx. You've got Ghost of War. You'll probably be able to play that on PC VR before it comes to PSVR2.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we'll wait and see what happens with that one as well. So, yeah, anyway, that's the news. For once, it's quite a lot of good, positive, exciting stuff going on there. So, anyone that has been listening to this podcast for the last year or so still hasn't bought a PSVR 2. I mean, I commend you for sticking out all this time. But now is definitely the time. I think it runs until the 12th of May, I want to say. So, you've got a couple of weeks to get in there. June, yeah, thank you. 12th of June.
You're in holiday mode, didn't you?
I have got one more day left at work tomorrow. And that's not even a proper day, because I'm going to work tomorrow and then I'm going straight to a gig after work. So I'm going to be going, it's going to be a very slow day in the office. Basically.
Certainly.
Certainly. Right, okay, let's move on to what we've been playing, because I'm conscious that we need to leave room at the end of this episode for us to talk about all of the huge announcements at the State of Play.
Yeah, that'll take us a while.
And you've been playing Sugar Rush, haven't you?
Yes, I have tried out Sugar Rush, so that came out today of recording. So it's an arcade-style shooter, very family-friendly is the way I can put it. From the videos they've shared, it looks like it's just a wave shooter. You stand in one position and shoot loads of enemies coming towards you.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some other little modes as well, where one of them has like a rhythm component to it, where you've got to kind of hit the beats that are coming towards you. And then you've also got a boss battle. So I've done the first 8 levels. So there's I'd like to say there's a lot to it. There's not a lot to it. It's very simplistic, and it's one of them games I think you would buy if you had children and they like the look of it, and you can get them into playing the PSVR2. There's definitely some enjoyment there. I can't say I disliked playing it, and I can't say I didn't enjoy some of my time with it. But at the same point, I feel like I need more for what I would play. But yeah, I think there's people out there who will enjoy it and have a lot of fun with it.
There aren't many good kids games for it.
No, I'd say it's, so. I think, like I said, if you do have a family, it's very solid in that sense. Sure, there's some things that I would probably say this needs to be done, but that's going way too in depth for the time we have. We could probably touch on it again in a couple of weeks' time. But from what I've played, it's good. It's probably just not something that I would play completely all the time, but it's probably something I would still go back to and finish off. So take that as you will.
I will.
Have you tried it yet? That's the question.
I played the demo before.
Oh, yeah.
I know we've got keys for it now, but I played the demo, and I don't know if my headset was playing up or the demo was playing up, but it wasn't working when I tried to play it. And this was a very, I just had a quick go on it, but I literally couldn't play it properly. It kept putting me in the wrong spot. You stand on those platforms to shoot at targets because they come at you. It was just sort of putting me almost outside of that platform, and so it wasn't when I was shooting. It was just gone completely wrong. So I think I had like 5 minutes. I was just like, I'll quickly try this demo out, and it didn't work. So I was just
that's a shame.
I'll give it a go when the full game comes out again.
I didn't notice any of them issues, so hopefully that what you experienced there has all been fixed. But I'd say
it could well have been my tracking on my headset, because my headset has played up in the past and does.
I remember.
Does like to mess around sometimes. So yeah, it could be a me problem.
It very well could.
Okay, moving on. Speaking of your love of cats, you've been playing. Go on then. Let's talk about your Quest game that you've been playing.
I've been playing I Am Cat. I say that with so much happiness in my voice. It's crazy. This is a game that I would like to just say is pretty much a cat simulator. You play as a cat, as you would guess. You have a little watch on your little cat wrist, and you have to do missions around the house, which will be from knocking books off of shelves, playing the piano, using a PC, cooking food. It's so random, but the one thing that just keeps me going back for more is just to be a mischievous cat. I literally play it for like 30 minutes each time I go on it. I just go around the house just messing about, and you can terrorize you got a granny that walks around, and she's basically the cat owner, and you can push her over, you can throw things at her.
I saw that video you sent us of you basically just murdering the poor old lady. Quite dramatic.
I accidentally pushed her over. She turned the TV off, okay?
She banged her head on the coffee table, Reese, and she started bleeding out. And you're like, meow.
I've seen worse than that. I've seen people go out to the woman with the knife and everything. It's crazy. No, there is a mission element to it, so there's some fun that can be had, and there is objectives to it. I think they're still working on it. It's still in early access. It's on App Lab on the Quest, so hopefully we do see it come to other platforms in the future. But from what I've played, it's an absolute blast, and I keep jumping back into it just more and more. I finally experienced what life is like as a cat, and it's as everyone says, they're arseholes.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm happy you're happy, Reese.
Yes.
As always, I'm happy you're happy. Tell me when I Am Dog comes out.
I Am Dog, that'll probably be their next one.
Better be.
We can only hope.
Well, let's move on to what I have been playing and what you have been playing. But before we do, remind everyone that if they want to support us, they can give us a sub on whatever service they're using. And if you're watching on YouTube, do the like and subscribe thing, leave us a comment. You can follow us on Twitter at CrossButtonVR. And if you want to join our Discord, you can do so. Find a link for it in the description for this episode and come say hello to us. And for anyone out there that is thinking about getting any prescription lenses for their new PSVR2 headset they may have picked up in the Days of Play sale, check out VR Rock at vr-rock.com. You can get your prescription ledgers from there for your PSVR2 and any other VR headsets that you may own. You can use the code CBVR to get 10% off and free worldwide shipping.
That is correct.
Reese.
Yes.
I love Sushi Ben.
I love it too. I can't get enough of it.
What a game. What a game.
It's one of them games I think it's just come out of nowhere and just absolutely slapped us in the face.
Why has it come out of nowhere? Because it came out in October, I believe, for the Quest, right?
Yeah. But I mean,
why do people not be reviewing it? What's going on? I've seen one review online.
Yeah.
Really good review.
I've seen reviews since it's come to the PSVR2, but like as for Quest, it's only been store reviews that I've been seeing. I've not seen anything more than obviously VR Realms review. But then again, I haven't really looked out for reviews for this game. But just what a game! What an absolute game! It's so good.
How would we describe this, people? So it's a narrative game,
story-driven narrative, anime, manga, adventure. I don't know. It's.
I was trying to describe because I was explaining to my wife what I've been playing last night, and I was like, so it's a game you sort of rock up in a Japanese coastal village. Kotobuku, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And for various reasons, there's some real estate lady, looks like the lady from Team Rocket, buying up all of the town, and she wants to turn it into a big resort town, like hotels and casinos and stuff. So she's buying up everywhere so she can bulldoze it all, basically. And you're trying to save the town through the means of supporting this sushi shop, Sushi Ben, the only sole employee left at the sushi shop. And you basically have to get his sushi shop back up and running again by his fish supplier has got a problem, his rice supply's got a problem, his vinegar supply's got a problem. So you need to help out all of the different residents of the town, and then once they solve their problem, they can give the Sushi Ben what he needs, and they can become customers at the sushi restaurant, and then the town will thrive once again, and you will thwart the plans of the evil. Is it Minami? I think her name is. I think
that's one of the ones I keep forgetting her names. I remember the landlady's name, which is Botan.
So it's basically it's the Team Rocket lady, and she's just followed around by this big Yakuza gangster guy who's like her heavy, who just threatens to beat everyone up and stuff. And then these guys, these corporate guys in suits that just follow them around everywhere. So it's so batshit crazy and so hilarious. It's so funny. I love it. And
it's the fact that I'm still laughing. Everything you're saying is just coming back into my head, just thinking of these parts of this game, and I'm still just creased. I was playing it before I came on to do the podcast today, and I got up to this one scene. I don't think you've reached there yet, but I was in absolute tears just from how silly it was.
Was it the guy that runs the bar that wears pink wigs and it's absolutely fabulous?
I finally got up to the seagulls, which I don't know. I don't think you've got up to the seagulls yet, have you?
Not the seagulls.
No, so I don't want to spoil it because it's that silly that I think your reaction will probably be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Like just laughing at it.
So, and everyone's problem you solve, there's a different mechanic in play. So whether it's fishing, you're catching bugs with a net, you're catching ghosts. It's a completely mad. It's all completely.
Yeah, there's a lot of
silly
different mini game style mechanics to it, like you just said.
I've not even mentioned the frog, the stone frog that is there. That's trying to. You're kind of.
I was trying to shake it off my hand the whole time when it was on my hand at the beginning. I was like, "Get off my hand!"
So there's this spirit thing. Again, I forget his name.
It's a very long name.
Yeah, it's a spirit thing that he just has got a mission that he wants to help all the town. So he's your kind of sidekick. It gives you some sort of power basically to fashion your own fishing rods and nets and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's so well done. The game's so gorgeous. It looks so clean and crisp. The graphics on it are so nice. And we've been talking about recently about some games that are so fuzzy. They look really fuzzy, but this game just looks so beautifully crisp. I've just been playing it quite slowly, just going up to looking at stuff really close up and just really admiring how good a game it looks.
Yeah, definitely. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Its build of that little Japanese town village is so well done. It looks lovely. It feels like you're just wandering around this little village. The cherry blossoms on the trees, the sunsets, the sea, the little shrines everywhere. It's so nicely done. And the music as well. Give a shout out to the music. It's so good. The music. Everywhere you go, every shop or venue or parts of the town have got different music, and it all just is so calming and nice and relaxing or exciting. I just the care that's gone into this game.
the music from the actual sushi shop was stuck in my head last night, and I was walking around humming along to it the whole night. But yeah,
because it is a hum song, isn't it?
It's
just someone
so
just
good.
so soothing hum lullaby thing. It's such a, and then you're
Every
in
time
there,
I
you're
hear
like,
it, I just carry along with it. It's great.
I just want to go to a really cozy sushi place that's all nice and warm and cozy, and just eat some nice delicious sushi.
So I think one thing I've always said about VR story games is that capturing a story that you can get engrossed in and actually interested in without losing your interest can be quite difficult in VR, especially when VR mechanics can be quite overwhelming and you want to run off and go do them different VR mechanics. This game has the perfect simplistic, and I'm not saying simplistic in a bad way, because they're simplistic in the sense of that they're fun mechanics, but they're not enough to make you feel overwhelmed with what you're doing there to the point where you lose interest in the story. And it's always finding that balance in some VR games. Sushi Ben has found that perfect balance. And one of the greatest things as well is how much depth there is to each character. Like when you first meet Ben and you hear his panic and his worries, you feel that there's so much depth to each character you meet, and every one of them has life. And I think that's one of the things that's really blown me away, is I just didn't expect how much life each character would have in this game. Mm-hmm. So it's so well done.
Yeah, and the writing is really good. I forget the guy's name, but it's the Hato for boyfriend.
Yes,
the writer. You can tell it's been written by someone, and it's all voice acted in Japanese. Really well done, really expressive, really funny. But the text is, the writing is really good and really funny as well. And so you follow along with that, and you as you say, you get there's a real serious depth to all the characters, whilst all this silly stuff is going on. So it's kind of like plays out as a comedy, but with this deeper drama.
I also like as well, like when you're actually talking to the characters, the different boxes come up, and it actually just feels like you're reading a manga of all these different boxes that are coming up on the screen. It's so well done.
Yeah, so you see a character, and then either side of them there'll be panels from manga, but they'll be drawn in 3D, so the character will be like bursting out of it, and it'll be portraying their expressions, or they'll be talking about something that's happened to them, and you'll see it in these manga panes that are just really, really beautifully drawn. The art style is really nice. It's really well done.
I can't fault the art style in any way, and to be fair, I've been trying to look for issues. Obviously, every time I play a game, I try and look for something that I dislike, and there is very little with this game that I dislike. Very little. And even the things that they're just, little things that can be fixed with a quick bug, quality of life patch. It's nothing serious. And yeah, I can't recommend it enough. It's so good.
I also want to pick up on what you said about a lot of the missions you do. They're really quick to do, so you feel like you're actually achieving quite a lot. And if you only want to jump in and just do a quick 20-minute or 30-minute VR session because you don't want to play long bouts of VR, this game is great because you can easily be given a task to do, go and do the task, come back, get the reward, go back to the sushi shop, and all of that loop takes 30 minutes. So it's a great loop. It's a really good loop. That new mechanic, learn the mechanic, use the mechanic, bit of story, back to the sushi shop for your reward and your pat on the head. Well done. You get to sit around the table and eat sushi with your new friend, and it's a really nice, something really cozy about just at the end of every mission, you just sit down together and eat sushi and just they talk about their life. And
it's a great ending to each mission, isn't it? It's like the most satisfying ending you could get.
Yeah.
Saying on that, so before I came on the podcast, I did 3 missions in the space of 45 minutes.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So now there were the side missions, not the main story ones. So I did 3 of those. But yeah, you always feel like you getting a sense of achievement every time you're doing a mission. You get a nice trophy pop up if that's something you care about.
Constant trophies. I don't even. Yeah, it's even making me like, oh, more trophies. Yeah. Like they just throw trophies out, like silver trophies every 5 minutes. You go, boom, there's a trophy. When you start a mission, when you end a mission, there's a trophy.
Yeah,
Alex is going to love it.
Yeah, I think it's a very easy platinum in the sense you just have to complete the whole game and everything that's available to be done. But no, I think when I first loaded it up, I was just shocked at how much I'm loving this game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I expected myself to enjoy it that much. Obviously, I do like narrative games, but it's my worry has always been, like I said earlier on, is the mixture between the two, and that's always the worry I'll always have with VR story-driven games. But they've nailed it. They really have.
Yep, they really have. Cool. Wow, Sushi Ben. I mean, I think that gets the thumbs up from us.
100%.
Yeah. Also, shout out. It's a good one. I started off playing it standing, and then I've been playing it sitting as well. Plays really nicely. You can sit and play the game. So if you're feeling quite lazy, you can sit. It works fine.
Because you can adjust your height, can't you, when seated?
Yep. Yeah,
that's always good. I like it when games have that slider.
So, yeah, and the comfort settings are really good as well. So you can teleport and move around. And I've actually been doing a mixture of that because sometimes when you have to go talk to someone, you can just use the teleport to jump quite far distances in one go. So you can just either walk or run to your destination, but you can take a kind of shortcut by almost like leapfrogging with the teleport as far as you can each time, and that gets you across the map really, really quickly. So it's quite satisfying just to
I've been doing it
between objectives.
Yeah, I've been doing it when I need to travel long distances, or I'm on the top of the mountain. I need to get down to the bottom. I'll just quickly teleport off the mountain. And
right down to the bottom in one go.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that is cool. God, there's so many other things that I haven't mentioned that I love, like the landlady, the landlady's aunt, that old lady that lives on top of the mountain. Just crack me up.
What I find so funny, and I think it's my favourite thing though, is the running mechanic. Like when you've got a character following you and you sprint really fast, and they just quickly, you just hear their feet just like doubling behind you really quickly. It just cracks me up every time.
The landlady does that sort of traditional Japanese lady walk where they do the sort of almost like the foot shuffle. She does that really fast to keep up with you, and it's so cute. There's cats everywhere in this game. There's the little postman that goes around everywhere. Yeah, it is great. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm just so happy to play a game that's polished to perfection. Isn't just about shooting and killing people and just raining murder on everyone you see, which is what most games these days are. And it's like these kind of graphic novel games you used to get like back on the DS, kind of that style of graphic novel game, but it's in VR, and that's something I've not played before, so I love it.
Yeah, I'm really from playing this. All I hope now is that big brain studios just keep making games like this. I really hope for it. Like if it's a sequel or what, obviously I haven't finished it, so I don't know what the ending is, or even if it's something just similar. I just want more games like this. I'm having such a blast. I think it's just quite nice not to be playing a shooting game for once, because that's pretty much all I play. So it has been really nice to have that different experience.
Cool. Oh, well, let's leave it there. I'm sure we'll talk more about Sushi Ben as we both carry on playing it over the coming weeks, and we finish it, and we'll probably get the other guys into playing it as well, and get them on for their thoughts. And we may be having an interview lined up in a few weeks' time with one of the developers, which will be very exciting. I always love our interviews, so I look forward to that. So let's leave things there, though, for now, and we will cut to our thoughts on the recently announced and recently shown State of Play. So then, Reese, we have seen the State of Play now, and well, let's discuss the state of that. It's not looking good, is
it? Who's starting?
Well, okay. Well, let's look. I don't want to defend Sony because they're in a pretty rough state. The State of Play is aired. It's been a couple of days now. We're recording this a couple of days later. They've been getting a lot of shit from everyone on the internet for their PSVR2 support, and quite fair, really. I think we'll talk about it more next week, but let's just talk about what they did announce and what they did talk about.
Yeah, let's crack on with that.
So there was two big reveals, and then there was one massive non-reveal for PSVR2.
Underwhelming reveal, I've put it down as. Yeah,
we had a first proper look at Behemoth, which for some reason has to be called Skydance's Behemoth. Why do we have to call it Skydance's Behemoth everywhere?
Is that actually what they've titled it as?
Well, yeah, like in all of the blog and stuff, it's just everything. It just is described.
It's just Behemoth. I'm not calling it anything other than that.
It's weird. Why do they call it Skydance's Behemoth? But yeah,
that's odd.
Anyway, we had a proper look at it, and it's looking mighty, mighty fine. It looks really good. And this has gone right up, because before we just had the most teasy of teasers. We didn't really know anything about it. And it turns out it's a very impressive looking game. To me, the sense I've got from it is that it's kind of Horizon Call of the Mountain meets Legendary Tales.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption with the sword play.
Yeah, I mean, so they're describing it as you are climbing these mountains. You're using hook shots and weapons and things to do it. So it sounds like you're using these kind of various tools, a bit like Call of the Mountain, but it's sword combat with people that are all trying to get you. So there's lots of human foes as you're making your way up the mountain. There's forts and things. And through it all, you've got these giant behemoth things, which are just giant monsters that are stomping around.
Them,
yeah,
that looks like blew my mind. I tell you how big they look.
On steroids type effect.
Yeah,
and everyone who's played the PSVR2 probably done the Horizon, and you have that bit where you first have the tall neck that kind of walks over you, and you just look up in awe. And that seems like this game is going to be. Yeah, this game looks good, and it looked really good to me. And bear in mind, VR games look crap in trailers. Basically, in non-VR trailers, they tend to look terrible, because I'm watching it thinking this looks impressive, because I know that in that headset this is going to look 10 times more impressive. So that's why I always have to sort of have that context when I'm looking at it. So yeah, I
will say though, it's not the worst VR trailer I've seen of a game to showcase gameplay. It was pretty well done.
For sure. No, it's yeah.
And it has built that level of hype that I've wanted for this game. Like, I was really excited for it, and we haven't heard nothing since they said the original trailer they did when the PSVR2 came out. And yeah, no, it's literally just got my hype levels just shot straight back up. So I cannot wait to play that one. And
it's going to be fall 24 as well. So I mean, it's kind of October, November time. I guess.
I've been reading a lot of people say October. So I don't know whether someone's worded October, but a lot of people seem to think it's October. So
and that's good, because it allows like a month for delays, and we'll still be playing it this year, which is nice, because VR games seem to always need a little bit of delay for a polish. I mean, maybe it is because this seems got quite a big budget game. Maybe they are confident to have to hit that, because it's not like an indie team that are putting dates out hoping to hit it. But
their Walking Dead title hit a very high amount of funds, didn't it? So I mean, they've definitely got the funds to put back into this to make it the best it can be. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, it just and the graphics. These are probably some of the most impressive visuals we've seen, I think, since Call of the Mountain. Anyway, it looks very, very nice. Very, very epic grand scale. So
very looking forward to that one. So
yeah, that one's gone straight up the height scale.
1 point for the state of play. That was one of them. Yeah,
big tick. I think everyone's happy with that. Next up, we had a trailer for Alien Rogue Incursion, which is coming to PSVR2 this holiday season, they've said. So again, November, December time, I guess. And that is a single player action horror game. All new thing. It's in Unreal Engine 5, which is quite cool, so it should be looking very nice. And the trailer got a bit of stick because it was quite
jittery, I think is the best word for it.
Well, just like low frame rate, which I don't know if that was the stream didn't help or what, because obviously when you're in the headset, it's not going to be anywhere near that jittery, is it? It's going to be at least 90 or reprojectives. I've seen a lot of
mixed things. People saying either it's the stream, or it was frame drops in the game, or it's the social screen being like that. But then obviously if the social screen's dropping in frames, then so would the in-game, because you have to reflect that on the social screen of what you're seeing. I don't know. It might have just been I think it's just a very early stage of the game. So I think where they've kind of edited this together, it's probably not the best of editing as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and that's mainly because I am really excited for it. Don't get me wrong, people will say Servios have messed up sometimes in the past, especially with the Walking Dead game. However, I did like that one. So I'm still looking forward to it. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I saw exactly what people have been complaining about. It was very noticeable.
I will be definitely up for playing this if it's got like an easy mode or some sort of excited. It's an action horror game, so it's kind of like that Resident Evil 4 remake type vibe of it is a horror game, but it's quite more action.
You have weapons, so
you have weapons. You're going to be quite powerful in a game like. So imagine it's going to be like Aliens, where you're like the Marines with the sort of rifles that you can actually kill the alien. If it's like an Alien Isolation thing and you're just in terror, no mood to play that. I don't want to play that. But if it's a bit more of a fun kind of action game that you can get powered up and you can feel quite powerful, then I'll be down for playing that.
The one thing that instantly made me go, oh no, is when I saw the face huggers. I was just thinking, oh, you're going to have them, and if they work in headset haptics and all that stuff when they pounce on your face, that is going to be probably one of the most terrifying things to happen. I still remember the thing in Alien Isolation where you had to go through that whole area of the face huggers, and that made me jump multiple times. So
yeah.
No.
Yeah. So those are the 2 games. That was it. I wasn't expecting more than 2 games, but the thing
I think I was the same. I was expecting to hopefully see an announcement for something that we hadn't already heard of. That was what I was hoping for. But
yeah, that is a shame because we knew about both these games. So we've come out of the state of play. There's no more games coming that we didn't already know about. It's nice to see these 2 and a bit more. We only had teasers for them both before, so it's nice to see a bit more on them and know that they're both coming towards the latter part of this year. So we know we've got those to look forward to. So yeah, I wasn't expecting 2 more, but I was expecting maybe something new and obviously something PlayStation student-y. And I think that's we'll talk more about this next week, I think, now, because I think that's the real thing that everyone is like, but where is the support? Is there isn't any? Maybe is that the case now? Is Sony just done with this now? It was just literally a couple of games, Horizon and GT7, and that's it for them. And the real thing that pissed everyone off, and we had this rumored, so it's not a huge surprise that Astrobot was coming and got a reveal of that, and it is very much a sequel to Astro's Playroom and not Astro's Rescue Mission. There's no mention of it being for PSVR2 or any hybrid features to it yet. Maybe it will come later, I don't know, but right now it's just a pure flat sequel to Playroom. And personally, I love Playroom like so much, so I'm actually quite happy that we're getting a straight sequel because it's a very different sort of experience to playing it in VR. So I'm quite happy. I want, as I said, was it earlier in this episode or last week's episode? I don't know when it was. I said before that I want both. Really, I want to be greedy and I want more Astro's Playroom, but I also really do want to play Rescue Mission at some point. So I've got half of my wish, and this looks brilliant. I'm going to love it. So I don't want to take it away from what they have put out, but I think people were really feeling that there's a lot of feeling that it's that VR community that own Astrobot, and that real sense of we're the one that really supported this character.
I think that's what a lot of people are trying to fight, isn't it? It's like we're the ones who brought him to his success kind of situation. And I'm going to argue that yes, maybe people were excited for the Astrobot game on the PS5, but I'm probably going to say the PS5 version is probably what brought him his success because it was free on every single PS5 that got sold. So depending on how many PSVR1 headsets were sold and the comparison of them two, but yeah, it does seem a lot of the original VR1 people are moaning that it's not VR.
I did someone reply to one of my tweets with a very sort of insightful point that if Sony have got any sense, then Astrobot will come out, it will sell and everyone will love it and it'll get Game of the Year nominations perhaps, and off that they're not going to be able to make another Astrobot quickly, but what they will be able to do is port Rescue Mission across at the very least. So I can expect we will, and so it's like this year Astrobot is coming to PS5. They don't want to confuse it, they're not going to release 2 Astrobot games at the same time. Next year though, that's when we can expect to see a Rescue Bot port. And I was like, I can see the sense in that, because if they start to get momentum for this series and they want to capitalise on that, it'll be so easy for them to bring that across. So maybe they're thinking, you know what, PSVR2 has some games this year, we can hold that in reserve and we'll port it across as and when we need it once the PS5 games had its chance to shine.
I will say I was very sour though when I saw Astrobot wearing a PSVR1 headset in the trailer, and then at the end of the trailer you see them flying the different hardware, and you saw one of them flying a PSVR1 aim controller and a PSVR1 headset, and I was like, you're really rubbing this in, you're literally rubbing salt in the wound here. Like, it was
I wonder if they'll do like another museum thing with all the bits of PlayStation hardware. There's just no PSVR2 in there. I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like, I mean, it's just you're just denying that something exists now.
I'm not going to deny it's like I put a tweet out and I said, am I disappointed that it's not in VR? Yeah, it was sore. Like, it was kind of like and I do agree with what people said. He started in VR. He should have got another VR, part in the series. He should have definitely got another entry into VR. But I also do agree with a lot of what you've said and what Alex has said in the past. So both of you played Astrobot with like your family, didn't you? Like, when it came to PS5, you shared that game with your family. You can't always do that with people in VR. You can't share a game with the younger audience in VR because they're not allowed to use VR or rules-wise, they say.
At the end of the day, this new Astrobot game is going to sell 60 million.
I'm hyped.
It's going to sell 10 million copies easily. Like,
I'm going to pick it up day one.
It was going to be an evergreen title that they'll be able to keep selling this every time someone gets PS5. They'll want to pick this up. They'll bundle this in with it for years.
Yeah, definitely.
So they are not stupid. They know how to make money, and if they made Astro's Rescue Mission 2, and it was just, at most, they might have to sell 1 million copies if everyone had a PSVR2
Yeah,
bought
exactly.
it. But, they'd get 500,000 sales, and like they're never going to put it on Quest, are they? So they're never going to get more sales elsewhere. So this is the smart thing to do, and I think if they had have just made it VR only, you'd have got far more people pissed off saying, "Oh, I fucking don't have PSVR2. I'm not going to buy PSVR2. It's trash. I just want it on my PS5, like Playroom was." So
I see it from
they've
both
made
ends.
the right. They from a objective, like it's hard for the PSVR2 community because we really want it. But I think an objective onlooker just thinks, they've probably made the right call with this. But I think it wouldn't have hurt to say, like, you can look forward to more Astrobot news coming soon, or this, just. I think the fact that there's nothing else at all for PSVR2 new from Sony PlayStation Studio,
I think that's what's
that's the thing that's kicker. It's like,
I'm sure we'll definitely touch on that a lot more over the next few weeks here and there in our little comments that we make. But I think what they showcased just in the whole of the state of play, there was enough to keep me entertained. I was excited for the VR tiles. Was it any non-VR? No. Astrobot was the only non-VR I was interested in. So
I mean, the rest of the state of play in general has just been slated for people just saying, "Look, come on, stop doing these shit shows." But I think Sony are really struggling to get games made now. Like, they just take so much longer than they used to. Just making games of the quality that they aspire to takes so long to do, and they're so expensive to do. It's just taking longer than what we used to, and it's making all of us impatient. And Sony are having to put out state of plays because they've got to announce some stuff. They've got to keep people updated with what's coming next. But they've got two. They had Astrobot and Concord, but there's the games that people want, and your kind of Ghost of Tsushima 2 and your Last of Us Part 3. That's the sort of stuff that people are waiting for, and Sony just this generation aren't delivering on that. Beyond Spider-Man 2, they're not really doing the stuff that the audience love. It wasn't so much that the VR part of it was shy, and the rest of it was brilliant. It was just all lackluster. It's a bit shy. Just Sony are in a place at the moment where they're just not making the sorts of games they want. I think part of that was their pivot to live service, and then they're kind of pivoting away, and that's leaving them in the space that they're in at the moment where they don't really have much of anything to show. And when they show 10 minutes of Concord, because they have to just fill 10 minutes with one game.
12 minutes, because I moaned about that excessively to everyone. I was like, 12 minutes of this, I don't want to see this.
And the game looks cool, but I was like, all right, are you still showing this? What?
The intro of that they showed of the actual story and the character arcs was cool. And then I saw the gameplay, I was like, I'm not a fan of hero shooters, so it's not for me now. As soon as that's what ruined it. So anyway.
All right, well, let's leave it there for tonight, and
I think that's fair.
In summary, I'm much more hyped for Skydance's Behemoth than I was, and Alien looks cool as well. Two titles that look forward to the end of the year. It's good to know that PlayStation VR2 has something to be playing. It's not all bad news, but we'll get into it next week as to why it's pretty bad.
Brilliant.
Cool. Right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to this episode. If you've enjoyed it, please tell your family and friends all about us. And if you want to get more involved, jump into our Discord and say hello. I've been your host, Laurie. This guy has been Reese, and we will see you again next time. Until then, it's goodbye.
How can I be a Sony pony? My Switch is bay. And there's an Xbox that I've got in stock so I can play Game Pass games. Buy one pizza oven, then all of a sudden I'm one of the Tories, mates. Support that Rwanda scheme, the fox gets hunted on Christmas Day. Somebody tell Naughty Dog that I'll give him that sloppy top of a Herman Hulse, make my jaw unlock, taking Ubisoft in a public bog. Spent 3 days slipping on Jim Ryan Schlong, and I'm letting him bunk with his old man knob. I'm crossed that he circled my ring with his tongue, and a 3-pointer aim square at my hole. I don't know about you, but I love PS5. Just imagine a life where they ain't got half my paycheck. There's so much things they ain't done yet, like releasing a mid-gen refresh. I know that we are the guys that will be are. Yeah, so fuck it, I guess that makes 10 then. Took a quick break to play Mario Wonder, but that 70 quid that I'm paying for this makes the game feel more proper. Voting and I won't go Labour. Thank you my mum and my dad. Private school when I was a toddler. PSVR or PS Portal accessories make the heart grow fonder. How can I be a Sony pony? My Switch is bay. And there's an Xbox that I've got in stock so I can play Game Pass games. Buy one piece of oven, then all of a sudden I'm one of the Tories, mates. Support that Rwanda scheme, the fox gets hunted on Christmas Day. How can I be a Sony pony? My Switch is B. And there's an Xbox that I've got in stock so I can play Game Pass games. Buy one pizza oven, then all of a sudden I'm one of the Tories, mates. Support that Rwanda scheme, the fox gets hunted on Christmas Day. I'm sorry, Laurie.